What if I told you that your kindness is killing you? That your need to be liked is slowly erasing who you truly are? That every smile you force, every yes you whisper when your soul screams no, is a small death, a betrayal of the magnificent darkness within you that holds your true power? If you've ever felt invisible despite being constantly available to others, if you've ever wondered why good people finish last while those who seem heartless rise to the top, then this video will shatter everything you think you know about power, intelligence, and survival in this world. Hit that like button and subscribe, because by the end of this video, you'll become a different person, so stay until the end. You're about to discover what Machiavelli knew, what Jung understood, and what Nietzsche proclaimed, that true intelligence isn't bright, it's dark, and it's time you learn to wield it. You wake up every morning and put on a mask. Not the kind made of fabric or plastic, but the invisible one that Carl Jung called the persona, the face you show the world to be accepted, to be loved, to survive. But here's what no one tells you. Every day you wear this mask, you die a little more inside. You've been taught that goodness means availability, that love means sacrifice, that intelligence means playing by the rules, being reasonable, being nice. You give and give and give until you're hollow, until you're a ghost of your own life, wondering why you feel so empty despite doing everything right. Machiavelli wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." You've been trying to be the lion strong, noble, honest in a world full of wolves. And you're being devoured, piece by piece, smile by smile, favor by favor. But here's the brutal truth. Your emotional exhaustion isn't a badge of honor. Your burnout isn't proof of your goodness. It's evidence that you've forgotten the most dangerous intelligence of all the intelligence that knows when to withdraw, when to say no, when to let others face the consequences of their own choices without you as their eternal safety net. Jung spoke of the shadow, that part of yourself you've rejected, repressed, hidden away because society told you it was bad. Your anger, your selfishness, your cunning, your capacity for strategic thinking, your ability to manipulate outcomes in your favor. You've been taught these are character flaws, but what if they're actually your greatest strengths, lying dormant in the darkness of your unconscious? The pain you feel, that hollow ache, that sense of being used, that creeping resentment isn't a sign that something's wrong with the world. It's a sign that something's wrong with how you're moving through it. You've been playing chess with checkers rules, trying to win a game you don't even understand. Every person who has ever taken advantage of your kindness knew something you didn't. They knew that power doesn't flow toward the most deserving. It flows toward those who understand its true nature. And its true nature is dark. Since the moment you took your first breath, you've been programmed. Not by some conspiracy, but by the very people who loved you most. Your parents, your teachers, your society, they all conspired, unconsciously, to make you safe. But safety, you see, is the enemy of power. Be a good boy. Be a nice girl. Share your toys. Don't be selfish. Think of others first. These weren't just suggestions. They were the installation of a psychological operating system designed to make you compliant, predictable, and ultimately, powerless. Nietzsche saw this clearly when he wrote about the slave morality, the moral system that elevates weakness as virtue and strength as vice. You've been taught that self-interest is evil, that putting yourself first is narcissistic, that protecting your energy is selfish. But ask yourself this: who benefits when you believe these things? The people who drain you, the energy vampires, the manipulators who have learned to weaponize your goodness against you. Jung understood that what we resist in ourselves, we often become unconsciously attracted to in others. You've rejected your own capacity for strategic thinking, so you find yourself drawn to those who manipulate, not because you admire them, but because they represent the disowned parts of yourself. You give them your power because deep down, You know they're willing to use it in ways you've forbidden yourself to even imagine. Machiavelli wasn't teaching people to be evil. He was revealing the mechanics of power that already existed. He was saying, the game is being played whether you acknowledge it or not. You can either learn the rules or remain a perpetual victim of those who already know them. But here's where most people get Machiavelli wrong. They think his dark intelligence is about hurting others. It's not. It's about protecting yourself. It's about recognizing that the world contains both flowers and thorns, and that pretending thorns don't exist doesn't make them disappear. It just makes you more likely to be wounded by them. Your conditioning tells you that good people don't think strategically, don't consider their own interests, don't calculate the cost of their generosity. But what if the truly good people, the ones who can actually help others sustainably, are precisely those who have learned to balance their light with their darkness, their giving with their receiving, their openness with their boundaries? The most dangerous person isn't the one who's learned to be cruel. It's the one who's learned to be intelligently kind. There comes a moment in every awakening soul's journey when they must do the unthinkable. They must disappear. Not physically, but energetically. They must become ... unavailable. This isn't isolation. It's a sacred withdrawal. Jung called it the temenos, the sacred space where transformation occurs. It's the cocoon phase of your metamorphosis, and it's absolutely necessary, because you cannot become who you're meant to be while still being who everyone else needs you to be. Machiavelli understood this principle intimately. He knew that visible power is vulnerable power. The truly intelligent don't announce their strength, they cultivate it in secret, in solitude, in the quiet spaces where they can think clearly without the noise of others' expectations drowning out their inner voice. When you withdraw, something magical happens. The people who are accustomed to your constant availability will react. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to guilt you back into your old patterns. And in their reaction, you'll see the truth. They weren't loving you, they were using you. But more importantly, in the silence of your withdrawal, you'll begin to hear something you haven't heard in years. Your own voice, your own desires, your own boundaries, your own power, humming quietly beneath the surface, waiting to be reclaimed. This is where Nietzsche's concept of the eternal return becomes profound. He asked, if you had to live your life exactly as it is, over and over again for eternity, would you choose it? Your answer reveals everything. If the thought fills you with dread, then you're not living your life. You're living everyone else's expectations of what your life should be. In your withdrawal, you begin to craft a life you would choose to live eternally. Not because it's perfect, but because it's authentically yours. The dark intelligence understands that availability is not love. It's often a form of control. When you're always available, you control how others see you. You avoid the discomfort of disappointing them. You maintain your image as the good one. But this control is an illusion, because in trying to control others' perceptions, you lose control of your own life. True power emerges when you stop trying to be indispensable and start being irreplaceable. When you stop being everything to everyone and become something specific to yourself. When you stop asking, what do they need from me? And start asking, what do I need from me? Your withdrawal isn't cruelty, it's cultivation. You're not abandoning others, you're finally meeting yourself. In the depths of your sacred solitude, something extraordinary begins to happen. The parts of yourself you've spent years rejecting, your anger, your cunning, your capacity for calculated decisions, begin to emerge from the shadows, not as enemies, but as allies. This is Jung's individuation process in action, the integration of your shadow self with your conscious persona. You begin to realize that your anger isn't destructive, it's information. It tells you when your boundaries have been violated. Your cunning isn't manipulation, it's intelligence. It helps you navigate complex social dynamics without being naive. Your selfishness isn't cruelty, it's self-preservation. It ensures you have something left to give. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." But what if the real you isn't the sanitized version you've been presenting to the world? What if the real you is the integration of both your light and your darkness, your kindness and your strength, your love and your discernment? This integration creates what I call dangerous wisdom. Dangerous because it can't be manipulated. Dangerous because it sees through facades. Dangerous because it operates from authentic power rather than reactive emotion. You begin to understand that true intelligence isn't about being smart. It's about being strategic. It's not about knowing facts. It's about understanding human nature. It's not about being right. It's about being effective. Nietzsche spoke of becoming who you are, but this isn't about discovering some predetermined self. It's about creating yourself consciously, deliberately, strategically. You become the artist of your own existence, and your medium is your daily choices. The reborn you doesn't give from emptiness. You give from overflow. You don't say yes from fear of rejection. You say yes from genuine desire to contribute. You don't avoid conflict from weakness. You choose your battles from strength. You don't people please from insecurity. You honor others from a secure sense of self. This is the dark intelligence in action. The ability to love without losing yourself, to give without being depleted, to be kind without being naive, to be strong without being cruel. Your energy, once scattered across 1,000 different people's needs, becomes concentrated, powerful, intentional. Like a laser that can cut through steel, not because it's harsh, but because it's focused. People will notice the change in you immediately. Some will be attracted to your newfound gravitas. Others will be intimidated by your boundaries. The ones who truly matter will respect your evolution. As you sit in the quiet authority of your reclaimed self, I want you to consider a question that will either liberate you or terrify you, perhaps both. Here it is. What if the person you've been trying to be all these years isn't your true self, but simply your trauma response to a world that punished authenticity? What if your people-pleasing is just fawn response in disguise? What if your constant availability is actually hypervigilance, your nervous system's attempt to control others' reactions to avoid rejection? What if your selflessness is really a sophisticated form of self-abandonment? Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The people who trigger you most, the ones who seem effortlessly selfish, who set boundaries without guilt, who put their needs first, they're showing you disowned parts of yourself. You've been angry at them not because they're wrong, but because they're free. Free in ways you haven't allowed yourself to be. Machiavelli understood that power vacuums don't stay empty. If you don't claim your power, someone else will claim it for you. If you don't direct your energy, others will direct it for their benefit. If you don't set your boundaries, others will set them for you, and they won't be in your favor. But here's the most profound realization. You can change the entire trajectory of your life with a single decision. The decision to honor yourself as fiercely as you've been honoring everyone else. This isn't about becoming cold or cruel. It's about becoming integrated. It's about bringing your shadow into the light and discovering that what you thought was darkness was actually just strength wearing an unfamiliar face. Nietzsche's will to power wasn't about dominating others. It was about becoming the fullest expression of yourself. It was about refusing to be diminished by others' limitations, others' fears, others' need for you to remain small so they can feel big. When you truly integrate your dark intelligence, you become dangerous in the most beautiful way. Dangerous to those who would exploit your goodness. Dangerous to systems that require your compliance. Dangerous to the voice in your head that says you're not worthy of your own respect. You become someone who can love without losing themselves, give without being depleted, fight without being consumed by anger. You become someone who operates from choice rather than compulsion, from wisdom rather than reactivity, from power rather than powerlessness. Knowledge without application is merely entertainment. So how do you integrate this dark intelligence into your daily existence? How do you maintain this newfound power without losing your humanity? First, you must develop what I call strategic compassion. You help others not because you should, but because you choose to. You give when your cup is full, not when it's empty. You offer support when it serves both parties, not when it depletes you. Second, you practice the art of conscious unavailability. You create sacred spaces in your schedule that belong only to you. You let calls go to voicemail. You say, "Let me check my calendar," instead of automatically saying yes. You make others wait not from cruelty, but from self-respect. Third, you learn to read the room, but more importantly, you learn to read yourself. Your body becomes your intelligence agency, sending signals when someone is draining your energy, when a situation doesn't serve you, when your boundaries are being tested. Jung spoke of the transcendent function, a bridge between conscious and unconscious, between persona and shadow. Your daily practice becomes this bridge building. Acknowledging your darker impulses without acting them out destructively, honoring your lighter impulses without becoming naive. You begin to move through the world like water soft enough to nourish, powerful enough to carve canyons. You adapt to circumstances without losing your essential nature. You flow around obstacles without being deterred from your destination. The dark intelligence whispers, "You don't have to save everyone to be good. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to be worthy. You don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable with their darkness." This is your invitation to stop being a victim of your own virtue, to stop making your kindness a weakness and start making it a conscious choice, to stop giving your power away and start investing it wisely. The world needs more people who have integrated their shadows, not because they've become cruel, but because they've become complete. Not because they've lost their capacity for love, but because they've finally learned to love themselves as fiercely as they love others. Your journey toward dark intelligence isn't about becoming someone else, it's about becoming fully yourself. And a fully integrated human being is the most dangerous and most beautiful force in existence. The question that remains is simple. Will you continue to live as a fragment of who you could be? Or will you finally claim the fullness of your power? The choice, as it always has been, is yours.